Hello, lovelies. Let's get busy. We got things to do. Goodness, I can't find my list of all the things. Oh, well, we're just going to go out off the top of my head. How's everyone today? Come on in. It's Wise Women's Wednesday. This is where we get busy. We talk about all the things. All the things. There's my girl, Mary Ann. Hi, Mary. Good to see you. I see people. They're starting to come in. Boy, am I puffy today. Haha. Yep, there it is. Hello, Lucy. And yes, Mary Ann's making a hello out to the wise women. Speaking of wise women, Yolanda just showed up. Hi, Yolanda. Good to see you. Yolanda's coming to our event. Yep, we got all kinds of things going on today. And listen, my little bra rant, my sports bra rant went crazy. I got quite a few messages of people saying, now, what was that sports bra you said? Well, it was She-Fit. And as a matter of fact, I shared that video with them because, when you like something, you like something. And wise women want the girls in place when they're, working out. There's no fun in having the flop factor. Am I right? All right. So welcome. Come on in. We've got things to talk about today. We're going to talk about getting off of automatic pilot and getting into the frontal part of your head so that you can really get some things done. Have you ever noticed how we get stuck and how we are just sometimes so stuck that we can't seem to get off the dime? Well, there's a reason for that. Isn't there always a reason? And we're going to talk about that today. I love this stuff. We've dabbled on this a little bit, but we're going to dig a little deeper today. Digging deep is the way that we get into what's going on and we're able to fix it up. And you know this, if you don't do anything about what's going on, then you're going to get the same thing that you've always had. And that's kind of boring. That's a Groundhog Day. You saw Groundhog Day? Bill Murray, every single morning he wakes up to, I got you, babe. And the same stuff happens to him day after day after day. Well, the lesson of that, of course, was to learn the lesson. And once he finally learned the lesson, out of Groundhog Day he went. That movie is applicable to us all today, isn't it? It's applicable. It gives us an idea to really understand that in order to shine, in order to get the things that we want in our lives, we have to do something different. We can't wake up every day and have it be Groundhog Day. So let's talk about that, because this is good, juicy stuff. Our Bloom event is coming up. You know that, right? It is coming up April 18th. If you want more information, it is right here, Brevard, North Carolina, right outside of Asheville. It is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm going to say something about that too. And this is, you can take this to the bank. That when you start to connect with people who have the same goals that you do and you're face to face, skin to skin, you make a different level of friends. You do. I swear to you, this is the truth. I found this out myself from when I was just like this little Lone Ranger all by myself on my little island in Charlotte, North Carolina, working away. And when I started to go out and meet the people who were also in my same field of health and wellness and all the things, it brought everything to a different level. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I suddenly realized that I wasn't the only one who was interested in this, and that there was other people, and that other people wanted to know some of the things that I was doing. And then we collaborated, and it blew my mind. It opens up possibilities, and it opens up your heart, your mind, your soul, and your friendships, and everything just up levels. So coming to an event is something you need to plug into your life, especially if you don't want to do Groundhog's Day over and over and over again. Am I right? Let me share you with my mug with you. This is the beginning of anything you want. Let's just say that for Wednesday, Wise Women's Wednesdays, this is the beginning of anything you want too. Listen to what I have to tell you today, because this stuff will blow your mind away. This is a lot of this I've read a bunch of books from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is will blow you away. You can take a look on him on Amazon. The Habit of Being Yourself, and a couple of other books. I've listened to them. I've listened to them again. And one of the things that he told me about, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, and is also in my book that I'm currently writing, that is, just taking a lot more time than I thought, is about living in the conscious, living in your subconscious versus living in your conscious mind, and the differences that makes in your life. That's what we're going to talk about, and especially the fact that 95% of what we do and think about is all subconscious. So we're like on automatic pilot so much of the time that if we can change that up, then we can change up a lot of the behaviors that we want to clean up and change up, right? Swap out all of that makes such a difference. So the Bloom event, back to the Bloom event, which I want you to come to. If you want more information, go to savingdinner.com/Bloom, and you can find out all about it. I will tell you, this is something that you want to start to plug into your life if you want a different level of life, a different level of community, and a different level of just, yumness. Here's the hot melt mix. By the way, hot melt mix, if it goes in your cart, you get ships free. And that's all you have to do is write in ships free, right in the little super code promo window when you're checking out. I say this because, listen, people are always saying, I hate to pay shipping. Well, you want to not pay shipping? Order hot melt mix. It's easy. Anything you put in your cart ships free. Anything, including what I'm drinking right now, our Body Clutter Wise Women's Tea. This stuff is the bomb. If you haven't had it, it's green and black tea, which they have their own different cancer fighting properties and weight loss properties, as well as bergamot, which gives it that Earl Grey flavor. So it's really lovely. And I drink a cup of this every single day. Usually I do it at 3 o'clock at tea time, but today I'm going a little bit earlier just because I felt like it. You can do that sometimes, So if you put the tea in, you add the hot melt mix, which some people will put together. Marla does that all the time. Then you get the benefit of both, and it does taste good. And you'll get it shipped free. I like that. Shipping free is always good. And don't forget Perfect Paleo Protein. For the rest of the month, you will get free recipes, 90 free recipes that we just do, and the Collagen Challenge, which just ended last week. That's a $27 value. We'll send it to you free for the month of February, but you have to order one of our Perfect Paleo Proteins. We have unflavored chocolate and vanilla. Okay, so there you go. We also have a vegan protein, which we're blasting out. We're going to be discontinuing. So if you got an email on that, take a look in your inbox. We're getting rid of that. It just doesn't sell for us. Our big thing is we're all about the collagen loading. We're all about these things, and they make a humongous difference. So if you want to know about getting rid of, you want some vegan, protein, it's a rice pea blend, and it won't upset your tummy like most of the other ones out there do. You'll like that. All right, so that's what we have today. And don't forget too, if you place an order for $250, I'm going to send you this little Mindful mug free. Now, Mindful mug, what is a Mindful mug? I get asked this a lot. A Mindful mug is when you have a moment, a little bone broth in here. You could even do tea, I don't care. But it gets you to the place of out of automatic pilot into that your place of understanding and being present and mindful that you're about to sit down and enjoy a wonderful meal. If you have ever been in the place of, the carousel of crazy with the up and down dieting and all the rest of the nonsense that goes with it, if you have ever been in the place where you are a guzzler or you are a hoover when it comes to eating your food, or you're eating too big of bites and just going kind of nutty at the table, then you need a Mindful mug. This is for those of us who are addicts, and I say those of us because hello, my name is Leanne. I'm a food addict. I might write about food, but man, have I been on that carousel of crazy. Man, do I understand what it is to be that person. I am not, one of those skinny little Instagram models who've never been in these shoes. Yes, I have. I know what it is, and I know that we need to slow down. I know that we need to get to the place of mindfulness, and this is a reminder. So if we can have that little mindful mug before we sit down to a meal, that will bring us back to center so that we are not going to go wacko and completely blow everything. We don't need that. Haven't we had enough of that? If you've had enough of that, send me some smiley faces, ladies. I want to see happy women who've said, yes, I've had enough. Yes, I'm content. And yes, I'm not going to do that anymore. When we can stop doing the damage, we can correct it. But if we keep damaging ourselves over and over, repetitively over, at some point, there is a big point where you can't pull back, where you can't go back and heal it up. That's why I'm putting up a big red flag and say, stop it. We need to be able to pull back. We need to be able to heal our livers, heal our hunger hormones, heal this thing, that's inside of us that makes us want to do stuff that's damaging. If it were our children, we'd throw ourselves in front of a bus. But for us, heck no, we're just like all about it. We have this thing where we take such incredible good care of our cars. We do. We put the oil in when the light comes on, or even beforehand. We have a little reminder that we need to go change the oil. We check the fluids. We wouldn't dare put the wrong gasoline in. I drive a diesel. Do you think for a minute that I'm going to stop and put something else besides diesel in my car? No, I want it to operate. I want it to run. And yet, here we are, these human beings who are doing these things, who are feeding absolute garbage and crap to ourselves, and basically, putting regular gas into a diesel engine. We can turn that car in and get another one, but we have these bodies for life. For life. And yet we treat them so poorly. That's part of getting out of automatic pilot and becoming wise women who are present, understanding, and get it. They're expanding their knowing at all times. This is what wise women do. So we're going to talk about that. First things, the other thing too, before I forget, because I did last week, don't forget, Q&A is on Friday. It's on Friday. If you want a nutrition question answered, if you want a cooking question answered, or anything else that comes into your mind that you think magically I'll be able to answer, whatever, I'm game. Send it in to support@savingdinner.com in the subject line. Question for Leanne on Friday. I will get it. I will answer it. Scouts honor. Girl Scouts honor. That's how it works. I will answer it. You want the quote of the day? Is this a good one? I think this is a good one. Quote of the day, or the quote of the week, is the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. This is Ralph Waldo Emerson. Brilliant man who gets it. This is not new thinking. This has been around for a while. We, in our decision-making processes, decide what it is that we want to be. And that's why I'm saying to you, let's dig a little deeper. Let's talk about how wise women go about this. How do we make these decisions? Instead of by default, we do it on purpose, and bring together all the puzzle pieces so that we can create the exact vision that we want for our lives. That's a tasty morsel right there. Because the thing is, change can happen really fast when you start to connect the dots. It isn't that you have to wait and wait and wait for it. Change can happen really fast. And the change that happens, and this is what I'm writing about right now in our new book, The Carousel of Crazy, by the way, in our new book. And the whole thing is that if you can get behind and understand what's going on in your brain and how it all works, then you're going to get to that place of clarity, and you're going to be able to connect the dots and make it work in the long run. Because it's never about just a diet or just a plan. If it was just about knowledge, according to Derek Sivers, right, is his name. He was the founder of CD Baby and a few other things. He said if it was all about knowledge, we'd all have six-pack abs and be billionaires. And he's right. If it were just about the knowledge, you guys don't need me. You don't need any books. You don't need anything. You just need, okay, so here's my plan. Go to the grocery store and get it done, right? There is none of that thinking it through and worrying about it and all of that. You don't have that. It's an automatic data in, data out. But it's not that way. We're human beings. We're complex. And in the complexity of our heads, we take apart everything. I've seen this a million times. Believe me, I've been around the block. I've seen it. We take apart everything. We look at everything and we say, oh man, that's just like, that's so hard. Or we create, usually, a lot of us do anyway, we create our own obstacles. We put them down. We have a reason why this is not going to be hard. And we have the yeah, buts, it's yeah, but syndrome. Yeah, but that doesn't work for me because, yeah, but I can't do that because, I've got these things. Or yeah, but that works for everybody else, but not me because. And we all have our things. And the last thing in the world I'm going to do is ever argue with a yeah butter, because a yeah butter has already worked themselves out of it. I don't need to, work on that. What I do need to do is bring you out of your automatic pilot place and put you into the front part of your head so that you don't keep doing the same dumb things that you've done. And I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying you do dumb things, because if you're a human being, you do dumb things, right? Am I right? I do. We all do dumb things. We look at it and go, why did I do that? Right? And that's not a put down. That's just a fact. We know. We have the knowledge. We have the information. We're like geared up. We've got everything set. And then suddenly, a Rice Krispie square comes into our, peripheral, and game off. All the knowledge, all the things, all the plans and everything dismissed, because it's Rice Krispie time, right? We do it. I'm not saying that we all do it, but there are certain things that are places where our knowledge just becomes a nothing. Our knowledge becomes dismissed because we get stuck. So you can't change your mind because of all the of gathering more information. And let's just look at what information is. Information is a good thing. I'm never going to put down information. Information is learning and what have you. But information is never going to take the place of actual doing. Because if you don't do, then you're stuck. Then what you become is just a big knowledge sponge. And what good is that? How worthy is that to help you in your life? That's when you become a troll on Facebook, because you now have nothing else to do with your life but sit and to troll on Facebook and drop your knowledge bombs on everybody. But you've never applied them to yourself. There's this gal on Facebook that I've known from a while ago. And she became a health coach, and she had this whole thing on weight loss. And this woman is 100 pounds overweight. Well, I'm sorry, but there's no credibility there. There is no credibility. You can't talk about losing weight if you haven't lost weight yourself. You can't talk about, excellent nutrition if you're sitting there with, a bag of M&Ms open up on your desk. Not that she did. I'm just saying there is an incongruity that happens. And that's not to be, you do not need to be perfect. If you needed to be perfect, I'd say, see you later, guys, and just hang up on you, and that would be it. It's not about perfect. It's about excellent. It's about excellence applied. Excellence in action. Excellence that isn't just a bunch of head space, but is actually out there in the world doing some good. It's stuff that's written down. It's stuff that's scheduled in. It's stuff that you do when you're out and about and doing your errands. It's applied at the gym. It's applied in the kitchen. It's applied in your life. It's applied in the words that you speak. Because otherwise, you know what you've just done? If you gather a big bunch of knowledge and you have all this stuff and you understand this is how inflammation works, this is how your body works, this is how your brain works, and then you don't apply it, then you're living in such complete incongruity that you just have to push it all. Something's got to go. Or you say, well, maybe so, but really what I need is a new guru. That's what it is. That's good, but I bet you there's more out there. I bet you there's better. And we have the shiny object syndrome where we're looking for the perfect thing, part of perfectionism. It's just not good enough. And that's our excuse for not getting off the dime and not doing something. There's always something better out there. It's not just in alignment with what I think or what I believe. And beliefs are funny things, because beliefs oftentimes will come into our lives and we let them sit there, rent unpaid, and we don't prove them out. But that's what we believe. That's what we've been told. That's what I read. This is what so-and-so said on Facebook, or an article that I read, or whatever. And one of the things that I teach you is be a detective. Go find the research. Don't just read an article. Don't just say I heard or someone said. And I don't even care if it's your doctor. Back it up. MD doesn't mean medical deity, and it also doesn't mean that they are able to give you information that is without flaw. If that were the case, then these guys would be healing you up. They'd be healing everything. I wouldn't be getting the half the information and questions that I get from people whose doctors have really let them down. And that's not to say all doctors are bad, and I'm certainly not saying that's not to dismiss the medical profession. I'm not saying that either. I am saying, as a human being, when you want to put something into action and you're getting a piece of advice from anyone, that includes me, do your dang research. Get on there. We have the opportunity that we did not have 20, 30 years ago to go dig and go find the research and to find out, is this credible? Is this in PubMed? Is this been published by a major, who published this? And what is their affiliation? And who paid for it? I told you years ago that the sugar industry had some bought and paid for information that basically maligned fat. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of political operatives out there who have an agenda, lobbyists who have an agenda. And a lot of this is agenda based, well, at least that's their whole thing. That's what we see, is that this is not, I want to give you this information. This is, I hope instead of buying this, you're going to buy that. This is, instead of doing the right thing and telling the right people the right information, I want you to kind of spin it so that this particular industry gets a lot of cash. It's the way it is. But we have an obligation as wise women to be wise and to do the right thing, to apply the right actions based on the principles that we know. Because we don't want to live in conflict. If we live in conflict into our head, something's got to give. Something's got to go. And if we can get out of the automatic pilot, or where we're just having this conversation with ourselves that is the same darn thing over and over again. It's the same Groundhog Day that we've lived and lived and lived. It's the same diet. It's the same carousel of crazy. It's the same stuff. If we can get out of that and get into the place of understanding, aha, this is a piece of that puzzle. I'm going to apply it here, and I'm going to see what happens with the results. That makes a big difference. We do with the sprint, which again is starting March 9th. And if you haven't done it, saveydinner.com/sprint. It's free. And we will have all the information there too. We'll be getting in, we're getting in some more information with that, because I've done a convenience style thing for people who just don't want to cook. But one of the things that I have really paid big attention to is that, and especially as I'm writing this book and putting all the, going through the gobs of information and research that I've looked at, is that it is a long tail process. And while we start with the sprint, because the sprint gives us the instantaneous results that we're all looking for, right? We have to get a hit of hey, this works. We have to get a hit of that. And that's not a problem. That's our human instinct. We have to feel good, hey, I just did all this work. I set all this stuff up. I did it. I took my measurements. I followed it to the letter, and I got these great results. And I say, bravo. That's the whole idea of the sprint. But it's a short-term thing. It's a short-term thing to show you that an anti-inflammatory diet is critical, that a nutrient-dense diet is critical, and that yes, you can lose the weight, and yes, your hunger hormones are out of control, but we can heal them, and yes, there's all that stuff in place. And yes, you need to hydrate, and yes, you need to move it. And we have all of the things in place. It's a simple, simple document, and I think we've done a really good job putting it together. But you know what it is? At the end of the day, it's those principles, it's making it customized and personalized and work for you, and it's a long-term process. Because here's the funny thing. Everybody's always looking, okay, so what's the maintenance plan on this? What do I do now? Or they think, well, oh my goodness, maybe I've lost too much weight. Maybe I need to add carbs back in or add this back in. And we have no confidence in that our body is going to settle us down into the place that we need to be. As if we're going to be like lose so much weight, we're going to look like, skeletal or something. And it's not true. What we're doing is we are developing new set point weights. We're developing a new set of eating rules for ourselves. And we're clearing out all the garbage and all the unconscious eating that we've done all those years that have caused all the problems and all the pain and aggravation and chronic diseases that, a lot of us have had to deal with, and bring us back to this place of, here's how we move forward. Here is the place where we move forward. Oh, Catherine, that's so good. Catherine said, right now, she just said, sprint isn't so much of a diet as it is an education. That is tweetable. That is repeatable. Thank you, Catherine, for that. She's exactly right. Because it's something that you're not going to be doing for the rest of your life necessarily, but the principles are all placement. It's placement. It's pillars. We need to be eating an anti-inflammatory diet for life. We need to be really looking at the carbs because most of us are in a place of incredible insulin, if not insulin sensitive, insensitive rather, but also maybe diabetic, maybe whatever, but where our numbers aren't where they should be. Most of us are in the place where we don't eat enough nutrient dense foods. Most of us don't hydrate enough every day. And most of us are not consciously in the place of seeing what it is that we're eating. And I see this all the time. We had somebody posted, I think it was in the Sprint, that they realized that they were eating unconsciously when they started on their second donut at work. And we do that. And that's why I'm saying to you that if 95%, the average person spends 95% of their time reacting to their life subconsciously, in other words, on automatic pilot, and the 5% that we spend actually doing something and being, applying ourselves to what it is that we're trying to do or change or whatever. Can you imagine if we could flip that? If we were living 95% in our conscious, right here in the prefrontal cortex, where we were doing things, we were saying, yes, we do this, and yes, we do that, and we get these things done, the obstacles would disappear. Because in the subconscious, we're having there's a push me, pull you going on. There's a contest back there in the back of our heads where it's like, who's going to get the last word? Have you ever felt exhausted by decision-making, the decision-making process? Just exhausted. This is why so many people oftentimes don't make the decision. They default to non-decision making, which is making a decision. And usually it's the lesser of two evils, and it's not going to get you what you want. So if we can get to the place where we do these deciding factors, it's going to make such a difference. This is why wise women build their days with a morning routine and an evening routine. It bookends your day. We call them rituals here. We call them rituals because they are that critical and that important. It sets you up for success. It puts you in to your prefrontal cortex. So you're actually thinking about what you're doing. You're thinking about the food that you're eating. You're not just like mindlessly eating a donut and then going, what the heck just happened here? Nobody wants to be in that place. No one wants to be in that place. So my invitation to you is this, is to start thinking. If you don't have a morning routine and an evening routine put together, just something simple and just something that just allows you to connect the dots on your day and making sure that you get through things and you're not forever procrastinating and having this, whole thing going on inside of the back of your head, then I am going to challenge you to get those done today. If you're a Take Back Your Life, or even in Hot Milk Club, you have the Take Back Your Life journal. And in our journals, we start the day with gratitude, because gratitude opens and expands your beautiful self. We know that. And we know also that when you have a plan for your day, then the day is not going to run you, because your day is going to now be in context of what it is that you want to accomplish, and not be at the end of the day saying, oh man, I've got so much to do and I missed out on doing so much because you got caught on your phone, you got caught in social media, you got caught up in something that sucked away your time. Time is one thing that we can never, ever redeem. We can't get it back. Once that time is gone, it's gone, and it's not coming back. And if you think about your life, and I do this sometimes, and it's kind of it sounds creepy, but it's a good thing to think about. Every single day that you live, this, like yesterday, is gone forever. It is gone. You will not get that back. And if you have, X amount of days to live, the little ticker just went down one. The little ticker is going to go down another one at the end of the day, and the little ticker is going to come back again, and take away another day. So your days well spent are your days that are spent in the front part of your mind. Some things you want on automatic pilot, right? But most things, especially the things that you're trying to accomplish in your life, you want in the forefront of your mind. You want to set your environment up for it. You want to set your time up for it. And you want to set your community up with it. Because if you don't have the support that you need, I can guarantee you're not going to create the life that you want. We want the vibrancy and the juiciness that all life has to offer. And you get one shot at it. One shot. One life. One Tuesday at the last part of February. One Wednesday at the last part of February. This is our last Wise Women's Wednesday for February. This is it. Think in those terms. Think in terms of just how important your time is, and elevate your time. Do some time blocking. If you want to know how to time block, just get a time block sheet. We have them on savingdinner.com/time. It's free. It's a PDF. And you know what you can do with that? Print it off and then see how you spend your time. I'm not saying account for every minute of every day, but account for your time in a way that gives you an overview of where am I spending my time. Because if you're wasting it and frittering it away, I promise you're going to regret it. You're not going to have the life that you want. The vision for your life is out there, and I know each one of you hold that dearly into your heart. Now do something about it. Do something about it. Get off of automatic pilot and get into the front part of your head where you can really think about these things. You have the creativity, you have the ability, and you have the stuff that it takes, because you are living on purpose, put here by God Himself. He's got a plan for you, always and forever. He's got a plan for you. You wouldn't be here otherwise. So you can take that to the bank. I want you to think about that. Hard. All right, that's all I've got for you today. I got to get going. I have got some things to do. I got to check through that list. So from my heart to yours, I appreciate you. Take care. Peace out, and peace be with you. Bye-bye.